shattered shadows. Detective Alex Harding leaned against his unmarked police car, staring at the crime scene in front of him. The night air was thick with tension, and the flashing red and blue lights cast an eerie glow over the alley. The victim, a young woman with auburn hair, lay lifeless on the cold pavement. Her eyes stared blankly into the abyss, and a pool of crimson surrounded her, reflecting the city lights. Harding rubbed his temples, feeling the weight of the case settling in. This wasn't just any murder. This was the third in a series that had the city on edge. The killer was methodical, leaving no trace, no pattern for them to follow. The media had dubbed the murderer the Shadow, a fitting name for a killer who seemed to slip away without a trace. As Harding surveyed the crime scene, a slender figure emerged from the shadows. Sarah Lawson, the forensic expert, approached with her usual air of confidence. She crouched beside the victim, her gloved hands moving with precision. "Any leads, Sarah?" Harding asked, his eyes scanning the surroundings. Sarah looked up, her expression grim. "Nothing so far, Alex. It's like the Shadow knows how to erase every trace, but I'll keep digging." Harding nodded, his mind racing. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to these murders, a connection they were missing. The city was on edge, and he could feel the pressure mounting with each passing day. The following morning, Harding sat in his cluttered office, sifting through the files on the previous victims. Each case was like a puzzle piece, and he needed to find the link that would lead him to the Shadow. As he studied the evidence, a knock echoed through the room. "Detective Harding, you've got a visitor," his assistant announced. Harding looked up to see a man in his mid-50s standing at the doorway. His weathered face held a mixture of sadness and determination. "I'm Daniel Turner," the man said, extending his hand. "My daughter was one of the Shadow's victims. I want to help you catch this monster." Harding shook Turner's hand, his eyes reflecting understanding. "I'm sorry for your loss, Mr. Turner. Sit down. Let's talk." As Turner recounted the last moments with his daughter, Harding listened intently. There was a vulnerability in Turner's eyes, a desperate need for closure. Harding couldn't turn away from that. "I found something strange in her belongings," Turner said, handing Harding a small, worn-out notebook. "She was always scribbling in this. Maybe it's nothing, but maybe it's the key you need." Harding flipped through the pages, revealing sketches of shadowy figures and cryptic symbols. It was like Turner's daughter had stumbled upon something bigger, something that led to her demise. Harding's instincts kicked in, and he realized that this notebook might be the break they needed. Days turned into weeks as Harding delved into the mysterious symbols and connections hidden within the notebook. He sought the help of cryptographers, historians, and even consulted with occult experts. The symbols led them down a dark path, uncovering a secret society that operated in the shadows. As Harding got closer to the truth, the Shadow became more elusive, leaving behind only breadcrumbs for the detective to follow. Each crime scene held a clue, a piece of the puzzle that would ultimately reveal the motive behind the murders. The investigation led Harding to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. The air was thick with tension as he entered the dimly lit space, his gun drawn. The walls were adorned with the same symbols from the notebook, confirming that this was the lair of the Shadow. As Harding explored deeper into the warehouse, he stumbled upon a hidden chamber. The walls were lined with photographs of the victims, each face frozen in a moment of fear. At the center of the room, a hooded figure stood, their back turned to Harding. "Freeze!" Harding shouted, his gun pointed at the mysterious figure. The hooded figure turned slowly, revealing a face masked by darkness. Harding's breath caught as he recognized the eyes that stared back at him. His partner, Sarah Lawson. "Sarah, why?" Harding asked, his voice filled with disbelief. Sarah's lips curled into a sinister smile. "The city was corrupt, Alex. The society I uncovered sought justice, a new order. These sacrifices were necessary to cleanse the filth that tainted our streets." Harding felt a chill run down his spine. The person he trusted the most had been the puppet master behind the city's terror. The pieces of the puzzle fell into place, and Harding understood the twisted motive that drove Sarah to become the Shadow. "You were supposed to be the hero," Harding said, his grip tightening on the gun. Sarah laughed, her eyes gleaming with madness. "In a world of shadows, heroes become villains, and villains become heroes. It's time for a new era, Alex." The tension in the room escalated as Harding confronted the person he thought he knew best. The struggle between justice and betrayal played out in the dimly lit chamber, and as the final gunshot echoed, the shadows that had gripped the city began to dissipate. The news of Sarah's betrayal spread like wildfire, shaking the foundation of the city. Harding found himself standing on the precipice of a new beginning, grappling with the aftermath of the case that had unraveled the secrets hidden within the shadows. As the city started to heal, Harding couldn't help but wonder how many more shadows lurked in the corners, waiting to be exposed. The investigation had left scars on his soul, but in the face of darkness, he remained a beacon of justice, ready to confront whatever shadows may come. The city may have been shattered, but from the fragments a new dawn emerged. And in the heart of that dawn, Detective Alex Harding stood, a sentinel against the shadows that threatened to consume everything he held dear. For more videos like these, please like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon.